Am I the asshole for telling a guy the real reason I wasn't dating him was that he was an extremely picky eater? So, let me tell you about this dating adventure I went on. Spoiler alert, it didn't end well. I'm 28, a sous chef, and food is basically my love language. Cooking, trying new dishes, sharing meals, it's all a huge part of who I am, thanks to both my job and my culture. So I met this guy, Jake, who's 30 on a dating app. At first, he seemed great. Funny, smart, and we vibed over some common interests. After texting for a couple of weeks, we decided to meet up for dinner. For our first date, we went to this lovely Italian restaurant. Everything seemed normal until Jake turned into Sherlock Holmes with the menu, grilling the waiter about every single dish. Finally, he ordered plain pasta with butter. No sauce, no nothing. Just pasta. Okay, I thought. Maybe he's just playing it safe on the first date. But things got weirder. Our next date, I suggested sushi. Because who doesn't love sushi, right? Well, Jake doesn't. He looked at me like I'd suggested we eat raw tarantulas, so we ended up at a diner instead. And there, after another intense menu interrogation, he ordered a plain cheeseburger. No lettuce, no tomato, just meat, cheese, and bread. I was starting to sense a theme. We went on a few more dates, and it became glaringly obvious that Jake had the palate of a 5-year-old. No sauces, no spices, no veggies, just plain basic food. And he didn't just stick to his bland diet quietly. He'd make faces or even comment on the food I was eating, which started to feel pretty disrespectful. The last straw was when I took him to a potluck dinner hosted by one of my colleagues. This event was like a foodie's dream. So many homemade dishes from different cultures. But Jake looked like a deer in headlights. As we went through the buffet, he barely put anything on his plate, muttering things like, "This looks weird," or, "I don't trust food with too many ingredients." I was mortified, especially since these were my friends and colleagues who had spent so much time on these dishes. Then, the cherry on top. Jake whispered to me that he was leaving to go get fries from a fast food joint nearby because he couldn't eat this stuff. And off he went, leaving me to awkwardly explain his absence. That was it for me. Food is too important to me. It's how I connect with people, how I express myself. I realized I needed to be with someone who could share that with me. So I decided to end things with Jake. To keep it light, I told him I wasn't ready for a serious relationship, but Jake wasn't having it. He kept calling and texting, demanding to know the real reason. After a week of this, I finally told him the truth. His ridiculously picky eating habits were a deal breaker for me, and I couldn't see us having a future together if every meal was going to be a battle. Well, Jake did not take that well. He called me shallow and said it was absurd to end a relationship over something as trivial as food. He claimed I was making a huge mistake and missing out on a great relationship. So now, I'm left wondering, was I really that shallow for breaking things off because of his picky eating?